Okay. So we started discussing the very powerful package dplyr. And we said that dplyr has many functionalities and it's used for data wrangling. When you say wrangling your data, cleaning your data, you're given a data set, and then, for example, you might need just a subset of that data set. So you can do that. You can slice and dice your data and create an object that where the elements of that object are what you need for your analysis. So dplyr is a very powerful package to use. Now dplyr actually comes under naka-package na siya also with tidyverse. No? So if you load tidyverse, you will have access already to dplyr. But anyway, let's just load this. So if you haven't loaded the packages, guys, kindly load yung tidyverse, dplyr, ggplot, and the data from where we got our dataset NYC flights. Okay, so kindly load that, and then review natin yung flights. Quick review lang. I'll just load this in the console. And asa na si flights ko na narun ko na ba siya? Run ko na lang ulit. Our flights dataset. And then if you're done, guys, if you're done loading this and loading also the flights dataset, kindly please chat na lang for me so that I know if I may continue. Kaka-problema na naman yata si flights ko. Hindi siya nag-register sa global. Okay, I hope it doesn't. Am I looking? Dito pala, dplyr. Logistic regression yung tinitin. Okay, so here, view flights. Okay, thank you. Oh no. Same na naman yata ako ngayon. Just give me a second, guys. I don't know why my R and my machine, their favorite time to come out is itong time na to, yung 9 o'clock. Kasi guys, after this, may klase ko. And doon sa klase na yun, hindi naman ako nagkakaproblema sa R at sa pag-load ng data. May bias tong R ko sa subject na to. Yan. It's taking so long, tapos nag-error pa. Yan, tapos yung dito siya nag-load. Ayan, okay. It's taking some time lang, matagal. Siguro sa machine or... Okay. Anyway, that's good. So I was able to load already the flights dataset. Now, we said that among so many things, there are many functionalities that you can perform with dplyr, okay, using the pipe operator. You can filter. You can filter. In fact, may nakalimutan ako dito, guys. I think I mentioned to you. What was the first or the second functionality that we can use? Did I mention that to you guys? Ito, no? Yung select, no? Hindi ko yata nasulat yung select function, which is a very important function and very easy to implement, no? Very easy to use. So far what we have done was to use the filter function. And we said that the filter function allows us to chop, to delete or to remove rows that are not needed, okay, based on a particular column, based on a particular variable. So kunyari, sabi natin last time, we can use the carrier as the basis and then remove all those carriers that do not register, kunyari UA. So if we do that, we can filter our data in such a way that only those with carrier equal to UA will be generated. Okay, so quite a very powerful tool. Of course, this can be done in Excel also, but it's a lot easier to do that in R, especially when you already have compounded let's say filters. Okay, because in R you can filter several variables at the same time, okay, which we did last time. Okay, so let me just add, guys, you can also use the select function from dplyr. Okay, so for example, let's create an object called UA. Okay, so here I'll type UA, alt minus, and then we only want select. Then we start with flights. Okay. Okay, and then Control Shift M, flights, and then we can select. Okay, we can select, let's say, only, what do we select? Let's say we only select the carrier. Okay, let's see what happens, guys. Control Enter. Okay, unused argument. Flights, and then select. Put here. Select. Okay. First, let's filter. Filter. Okay. So what do we filter first? Filter muna natin sa carrier is equal to UA. Tama ba? Mali yata, capital pala. Okay. So what will happen, guys, if we generate this object? You'll now have an object called UA. And this should set ups. Okay, sumasabay ako sa okay. Okay, again, guys, this is a matter of review. Sabi natin, kapag nag-filter tayo, when we're equating a particular element of a variable, dapat double yung equal to, no? Ayan, dalawang equal to dapat. So this will now create an object. It's still the same object, no? It's still the same object. Okay, but this time, only how many? Only 58,665 observations out of the 336,000 observations. And if we take a look at carrier, it will only be all UA. Okay. Clear, you guys? So this is just a quick review of what we have discussed so far. Okay, let's continue first with our notes, and then ipasok na lang natin yung select mamaya when we combine it with the other functionalities like filter, etc. Okay, so we said, guys, in our class last time, filter, you can summarize, you can group by, you can select, mutate, arrange, and even joins. We'll go up to joins. We won't be able to finish everything today kasi yung joins mismo, guys, it will take we will allocate one session for this kasi yung join medyo nakakalito yan, no? And there are different types of joins. Joins involve combining two data sets, combining two objects. So ito so far, isa lang naman yung data set ang tinitingnan natin, flights, no? But when we now get two data sets and then generate an object where we combine either the rows and the columns, depending on what we want, we now use the join, which is also a pretty powerful functionality. Okay, so far guys, what we did was to use the filter function. Sabi natin yung filter allows us to generate an object where we remove rows, we remove observations based on a particular criteria. And yung criteria na ginagamit natin yung column, yung variable. Okay, we will not run this anymore, but for example, last time, what we did was to generate this object, Alaska flights. Okay, first we use the flights data set, and then, okay, we filter carrier is equal to Alaska Airlines, okay, AS, and then we look at the data set, and we said that this object will now have the same number of columns. Okay, sa filter guys, hindi natin ginagalaw yung number of variables, yung number of columns. Ang ginagalaw natin yung number of rows. On the other hand, sa select, ang ginagalaw natin guys, ang minomodify natin yung number of columns. So if you want just to choose 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, or variables out of the 19 of our data set, then you use the select column. We'll have another one example of that as we go along. Okay, so last time we stopped at natapos natin sa filter, no? Okay, this time we're going to look at sa next natin. Our next is, okay, I think our next is summarize. So let's go there. Okay, I'm in row. Most probably guys, magkakaiba tayong number, no? But almost the same. So nasa around 200, 202 yung summarize function. Okay, so what does the summarize function do? Ano ginagawa ng summarize function? When you say summarize, you can make use of this function in order to generate your descriptive statistics. You want to generate the sum, the minimum, maximum, the IQR, median, etc. That can be computed, that can be done using the summarize function. So, anong nangyayari guys pag summarize? Okay, let's take a look. Remember guys, may mga cheat sheet tayo. Ano? Cheat sheet natin, let's open this in dplyr. Okay, let's just take a look at this. Okay, so ito yung cheat sheet generated by CRAN on dplyr. So take a look guys at this summarize. No? So apply summarize functions to columns to create a new table of summary statistics. Summary functions take vectors as inputs and return one value. Okay, return one value. See back and bring back. So summary function, yung i-return niya. Kasi syempre pag kinuha natin yung let's say yung maximum or sum or minimum, syempre isang value lang yun. If you're getting the minimum value of a vector of numbers, yung minimum nun iisa lang. So that's why yung summary function will give us one output. If we ask R to count the data, siyempre, pag binilang, iisa lang yun. Yung minimum, maximum, etc., mean, standard deviation, etc. That will be one value. Okay? Guys, clear so far yung ginagawa ng summarize? Kindly chat please kung clear yung summarize natin. Okay, thank you. All right. About the rest, okay, salamat ha, salamat. Thank you guys for the feedback. Okay, so let's have some exercises on this. Okay, let's use the weather data set from the NYC Flights 13 package. View natin. Okay. Let me just wait for it. 26,115 observations. And then if you get the summary, the summary function, guys, as we know, gives us the summary statistics ng mga numerical variables, no? Kunyari yung pressure, yung minimum niya, P25 or quartile 1, etc. We know this. We can also get the structure. This is particularly useful if you're using a particular data set for the first time, to give you an idea what data set, the structure, the variables in that data set. So meron tayong origin ng character, may numerical, and then meron tayong time R na data type. Okay, so and if you recall, meron din isang count. I prefer compared to structure. I prefer the glimpse from the site package. Okay. Mas maayos lang yung pag present, but it gives us the same information. All right. So we're asked to create an object called summary temperature containing the mean and the standard deviation of temperature variable in the weather data frame. Okay, so pinapakuha sa atin yung mean at saka yung standard deviation. Okay, so how do we do this, guys? How do we get the mean and the standard deviation? Okay, I don't think I gave this to you, no? So kindly, hindi ko ba sa inyo ito? Hindi yata. Dinang ko yata yan. I blanked it because I want you to be the one to write. So hindi ko binigay. Mean and standard deviation of temp. Ang binigay ko lang, guys, yung pangalan at saka yung object to be used, the data to be used. Okay, so how do we write that, guys? So can you write this? So summary temperature yung ano natin, yung pangalan ng object. Yeah, the name, the object that we're creating. And then we're using the weather data set. And then we're going to summarize. So notice, guys, yung function of summarize. And then summarize ano? You can create several summaries, no? But all of them should be inside the summarize function. So sabi natin dito, summarize number 1 yung mean, comma, standard deviation also. So we're creating a new, the name of the variable is mean. Okay, mean temperature, and then standard deviation yung pangalan ng variable, and it's equal to the standard deviation of the temperature. Okay. Since yung mean, guys, will generate just one number and the standard deviation will just generate one number also, then we expect that this object, summary temperature, will be an object, would be a data frame, okay? Data frame containing 1 row and 2 columns. Yung first column niya, mean, yung second column niya, standard deviation. Ito yung pangalan ng ano, guys, pangalan ng variable na binigay natin. Of course, you can use any other name here, but it's logical to use a name that it represents, no, yung average and temperature. So if I run this, okay, so you have here summary temperature, one observation, okay, of 2 variables. Yan. Okay, bakit wala, guys? Why do you think it does not generate an answer? Anyone? Unmute yourself or chat. Bakit kaya nag-NA siya? Yes, thank you, Jonas. No? There might be missing values. No? Remember, guys, pag may missing values, hindi kino-compute ni R yung mean. So paano natin malalaman kung may missing values si temperature sa ano sa weather data frame. Paano na natin malalaman kung may missing value na si temperature from the weather data frame? We can use, guys, is.na. No? Is.na from the weather data frame, and then weather data frame, and in particular yung hindi siya nag-generate, yung temp. Let's see. So, ang ginagawa nito, guys, okay, hindi natin makikita dito, no, kasi what's generated here is each of the values in the temp, tinitingnan niya kung NA siya. No? So, in fact, the first 57, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, lahat false, ibig sabihin, hindi siya NA. So, hindi natin alam, guys, kung saan dito yung kung may ano ba, kung may NA ba, kasi si weather, guys, ilan ba yung ni weather? Ano ba yung summary ni weather? Summary weather. Ilang ano siya? Ilang observations weather? Okay, 26,115, no? 26,115 observations. So better, let's use this structure. Structure ni weather or n rows ni weather or structure para isa lang. Okay, ayaw. Sorry, n row lang dapat. N row weather. Okay, 26,115 observations sa weather. So, pag gamitin lang natin is NA, guys. Okay, i-identify niya kung NA yung each of the elements there. So, hindi natin malalaman kung saan doon. Okay, so what we can do is we can use ito yung which is.na, okay, weather, and then the temperature. Okay, using this, yung which is.na, guys, will allow us to see ano yung mga ayan, 5592. No? I think did we discuss this last time, guys? Hindi ko maalala. Did we? Yung which is.na? And okay, sige, good. Thank you. So, in order for us to determine kung merong NA nga, meron, no, 5592. So that's our data set. No, kung titingnan natin, guys, weather, temperature. Let's see. Hanapin natin, guys, pakunin natin yung row 5592. Anong row ba si ano? Anong row ba si weather? Anong column si temperature? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay, 6. 5592. Okay, and then 6 column. Sige, 1 to 6. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm asking R to go to the temperature and the weather lang, no? Weather, and then generate the 5592 row, and then generate column 1 to 6. Let's see. Ayan. Okay, yun nyo, no? So this is yung weather dataset natin. This is row 5592. And then this is column 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And true enough, guys, nakita natin na NA nga is missing. No? Okay, pause muna ako, guys. Some of you are holding it. Just put here as an added note. Tapos, document ko lang. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Clear tayo? So na-prove natin, guys, na may NA nga, ano, may NA nga si ano si si temperature. That's why when we run this, nag-ano siya, nag-NA siya. Okay, so we have to do something about this. Okay, so what? Post muna ako. Any questions so far, guys? Any questions? Or if not clear ba? Paki-yes naman or no? Thank you. Yeah, good. Good. So kita natin, guys, imagine kung Excel ang gagamitin natin tapos hahanapin natin kung saan yung missing value na yan. It's really quite unwieldy for us to do that. Thank you. All right, so let's continue. We still need to do this. We still need to get the mean and the standard deviation of temperature. So what do we do? Okay, so let I place here some notes. What results do we get and why? As we answered a while ago, R will not compute the mean or any summary statistics if there are missing values. Kasi ang hindi nagdi-default si R na tinatanggal niya yung missing value. Okay? Why? We can ask ourselves, bakit hindi na lang niya tinatanggal automatically? Why not just remove that and just generate the mean without the NA? It's not being done kasi it alerts us that there are missing values. Kasi why are there missing values? There are many reasons why there are missing values. Number one, baka hindi nalagay yung data. Okay? So kung accidentally hindi nalagay yung data na yun, then it might be a critical data. So mababago yung summary statistics natin. So the software itself tells us we have to do something about this because there's some missing data. Okay? So kung yung missing data na yun, talagang wala lang talagang available, then there are many other things that we can do about that. As noted here, values can be missing for many reasons. Maybe someone forgot to put it, maybe hindi talaga nakolekta. No? So the presence of missing values alerts us and it behooves us or it forces us to think of what to do with this missing data. So for this purpose, we'll just decide to remove that data. And how do we remove that missing data? Sabi natin, we use the NA.rm. Okay? Lahat ng NA.rm is equal to 2. Remove the NAs. Okay, so we do that for the mean, for the temperature, so that the mean and the standard deviation may be computed. So take note again, guys, inside the summarize function, ando dun lahat ng mga pinapang-compute natin. Pwedeng mean, pwedeng standard deviation, pwedeng minimum, pwedeng maximum. Okay, we can let's say include, for example, let's call this as IQR is equal to IQR ng temperature, then NA.rm is equal to 2. Pwede yan, no? Basta nasa loob siya ng summarize. No? Nasa loob siya ng summarize. Okay, so let's run this, guys. Let's run. Okay, and then we now have, guys, the answer. Okay, so we have the mean of the temperature is equal to 55.3. We're given the standard deviation, we're given the IQR. Okay. So clear so far, guys? Any questions? Kung clear, paki-chat naman kung yes or no, please. Okay, thank you. Good. Salamat, guys, for your feedback. Okay, now As we said a while ago, let's be careful when, okay, let's kesa natin yan. Okay, now take a look at this. Ito naman ang pinapasummarize. So whether, and then summarize, count is equal to n. So here, yung count function, guys, gives us the number, the length, or the number of row of your observations, no? Of your data set. So whether, and then pinakount natin, ang function and count is equal to n. Okay, so ang pangalan ng object, ang pangalan ng variable is count, and then the function is n. Okay, or this can be, tingnan natin guys kung mag-ano dito n row. Okay, let's see if this will work. No? Okay, hindi siya nag-work yung n row kasi itong n row guys dapat ginagamit to, dapat may argument ng ano eh, ng whether. Kaso pag gamitin natin dito yung n row, parang nagiging redundant na siya kasi meron ng whether tayo dito. So let's experiment, no? If I put whether there, okay, and then do this, umano nga siya, no? Nag-work siya. Okay? Although, parang naging ano siya, naging redundant kasi in-identify na natin whether dito and then summarize count is equal to n row ng whether. So in this instance, guys, parang hindi magandang ginamit natin yung function na n row dito sa dplyr na to. Kasi so, it will suffice already if we use yung n lang mismo. Okay. Kasi si n row in itself, mag-work na yan. N row, not using dplyr, di ba? Ginawa natin ito na 26115. Okay. Ito naman, yung n function is equivalent to n row. Yan, equivalent yan. Ang difference sila, dito si n, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay kung ano yung object kasi naka-identify na dito. Dito naman sa n row, kailangan mo i-identify. Okay. You see? Okay, good. Alright, thank you guys for your feedback. Okay, now, how about this, guys? I don't know kung binigay ko ito sa inyo. Okay, if not, guys, pakikopya. And then let's comment on this. What's the problem with this function? This was not given, kindly copy. And then, pakirun, and then please chat, guys, kung ano yung result ng function na to. Summarize din naman to eh. Mean at saka standard deviation. Okay, so I have some answers here. Error daw. Okay, you're correct, guys. Error talagang kakalabasan nito. No? So, sana yun sa akin. Okay, if you run this, okay. Sana. Okay. Hindi mag-register. Error din. No? Okay, you're correct. Error dapat yan. Ito na naman yung error. When I generate, bakit may one observation to? Ba't meron? Sandali ha? Mali yata yung natin. Ay, hindi ito. I'm running wrong. Ito. Ito, okay to, nag-run to, no? Kasi ito yung kanina eh. This one. Yung sa akin yung 262, weather, and then summarize both the mean and the standard deviation. So nag-run siya. Pero ito guys, yung pangalawa, yung summary temp 2. So I have here weather and then summarize. So sinummarize muna yung mean and then i-summarize ulit yung standard deviation. So why will this generate an error term? Okay, I'll run first the first part. Okay, so summary temp. When I run the first part, guys, ang na-generate niya yung mean. Okay? So, yung object natin, guys, from weather, naging summary temp 2 na siya na isang observation lang. Yung mean na lang. Okay? And then, sabi natin, and then, i-summarize natin yung give it a name standard deviation, which is the SD of temperature. So what's the problem here, guys? Pagdating dito sa portion na to, okay, what is existing is already yung summary temp 2. Wala na yung weather. So if we continue, guys, hindi na nga makikita si temperature kasi up to this point, guys, you don't have access to weather anymore. What you have is a result that has one observation, one variable, which is this one. Yung mean guys, no? Yung average. So, pag tinuloy pa natin, tapos sabi natin, i-solve yung standard deviation of the temp object, wala na, mag-error na yan. Kasi, up to this point, guys, sabi nga natin, what's existing is summary temp 2 in memory. Tapos hindi na niya alam na asan yung temp na yan. Wala nang temp eh. Wala nang temp na object. Okay? So what's wrong here, guys, is that sineparate natin yung summarize. Okay, remember, pag nag-summarize tayo, ang ma-generate na object niyan is one summary. Kasi isa yung sum, isa yung mean, minimum, maximum. So when we apply to another summarize, okay, it's possible na magkaka-error talaga tayo. So this is wrong. This is wrong. This is a wrong way to do our summarization. Okay, clear yan, guys? So mali itong yung summary temp 2. So if I run this, okay, mag-error talaga siya. Mag-error siya kasi hindi niya makita asan na yung temp. Okay? Hindi na niya makita asan yung temp object kasi as far as this code chunk is concerned, at the second line, iisa na lang to eh. Isang object na lang yan. Yung summary temp 2 na yan, tapos mean. Okay? Yung average sa lang yung makikita na. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for your comments, guys. Hindi gumagana. Kasi nga, based on what we explained. Okay, so move on. Okay, so ito yung explanation natin, di ba? So, sinummarize muna natin yung mean. We call it an object, y. And then yung y na yan, guys, sabi natin, that y will simply be one data frame siya, na iisa lang, one row, one column lang siya. Tapos, after that, pag ipasummarize ulit natin, mali na, kasi hindi na niya makikita si temperature. So if you want to compute both mean and standard deviation, make sure that you put everything under one summarize. No? Summarize si mean, summarize si standard deviation, summarize si median, summarize, etc. Okay. So, questions, guys? Clear so far? Kung clear, guys, paki-chat naman please kung yes or no. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, class, for your feedback. I really appreciate the feedback. Okay, so examples lang ng summary functions, yung mean, standard deviation, min and max, IQR, yung sum, and the count. Now, sometimes, what we want is not to summarize everything. Pwede natin i-summarize based on a particular variable. Di ba yung weather natin kasi, may month yan eh. May month siya. Yung month natin, kasi itong data na to guys, from NYC flights 2013. So these are data for the whole of 2013. So may month tayo na January, February, March, April hanggang June, hanggang December. So what we want is to summarize the average temperature, standard deviation and temperature by month, monthly. Kasi it gives us more information, no, about that. So what we can do is we can group by first and then saka natin pa-summarize. So ang gagawin natin, wag muna isa-summarize, group by muna by months and then saka i-summarize. Okay? So let's do that. Why don't we compute for the mean, okay? Mean and standard deviation pwede, and the IQR pwede, no? Compute the mean temperatures split by month, okay, by grouping temperature by month. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we do that? I don't think I gave you the answer to this. So I'll give you a few seconds, guys, to try to code this. And then kindly please chat your answers sa chat box. Ayun natin kunin yung yung average ng temperature para sa lahat. Gusto natin temperature ng per month. Okay? And that way guys, makikita natin yung variation ng temperature natin. I'm going to give you a few seconds and then kindly chat your answer. Any answer, guys? Meron ba, guys? Any volunteer to answer? Ayan. Wala? Okay. So, okay. Right. So sabi natin guys, yung function na group by will allow us to group certain a variable by its elements. So we know guys na si month ang ang numbering, ang element siya 1 hanggang 12 to represent January up to December. Okay. Just a moment guys, sandali lang. Okay, so take a look at this code, guys. Weather, and then group by month. So let's run that. So what happened here, guys? When we run that, sabi dito, it's a table, it's a data table, 26,115 observations by 15 variables. And then naka-indicate dito kung ano yung groups niya. Naka-group daw yung month, 12 groups, no? Okay, so kung naka-group guys yung weather natin, okay, so let's go here. Experiment tayo, tatanggalin ko to guys. Sorry, tanggalin ko muna to. I'll remove this. Okay. So dito, summary, monthly temperature, weather, and then summarize yung mean at saka standard deviation, and then i-print natin to. Okay. So what happens here? If I run this, ano nangyari, guys? Okay. Ang binigay din sa atin, guys, yung ano, yung total, yung average on temperature for the whole data, no? Pati standard deviation niya. Okay, kasi tinanggal ko yung group by dito sa pangalawa. So this is just the same as what we did a while ago. All right. So if I include, let me see kung mababalik ko siya control Z there, okay? If I include group by month, okay, so let's take a look at this. We're creating this object summary monthly temperature using the weather data frame, and then group by month natin, and then summarize natin yung mean at standard deviation, and then i-print natin. So let's run this. Okay, now take a look at this. So what happened here? The result now is that we're given the average and the standard deviation on a monthly basis per month. So nakita natin guys na we were able to generate a monthly average of the temperature and the standard deviation, also monthly standard deviation based on the month. Okay. Of course, you can use other grouping by, especially kung categorical. No? Okay, let me give you a few minutes, a few seconds to work on your code, and then kindly chat please guys kung you were able to get the temperature group by month. Paki-chat kung yes guys. No? Okay, thank you. Good. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Let's wait for the others. Let's give them a few more seconds. Okay, very good. Yan. Salamat guys. Thank you. Okay. Yan, very good. So I think most of you were able to get it. Okay. So ito guys, combination ano? Combination ng ano, we combine yung summarize at saka yung group by. Inuna natin yung group by. Okay. Will it make sense guys to put first the summarize tapos saka group by? No, mag-error tayo yan. No? Kasi pag sinummarize muna natin, diba, it will already result into a one number answer. And then saka mo i-group by. Of course, wala na siya i-group by. Okay? Kasi hindi na existing yung, hindi na doon sa memory, hindi na existing yung ano yung weather. No? Kasi from the weather, sinummarize natin. Okay? And nakapag-generate na tayo ng isang another object. So you have to group by first and then summarize. So anong implication nito guys? Very rational yung ano, yung pipe operator na to. Ibig sabihin niyan, talagang logical, chronological yung gagawin. So start with weather and then i-group by muna by month and then saka summarize and then print. So that's why it's really quite easy to follow kasi yung logic niya guys, logical eh. Yung ano niya, yung syntax niya, it's logically constructed and easy to follow. Okay. Okay, just a note here. The group by function doesn't change the data frame itself. Okay, yung weather natin, hindi nababago yan. Kahit nag-group by tayo, it only changes the metadata or the data about the data, specifically the grouping structure. It is only after we apply summarize function that the data frame changes. Okay. Now let's go here. Let's use the diamonds package. Diamonds data set. View diamonds. Okay. I think we used this before. So let's access the data. Diamonds. Kunin na lang natin yung structure niya. Tingnan natin yung structure. So ito yung mga variables natin, carat, cat. So we have here carat, numerical siya. Cat, this is an ordinal factor. 5 levels, good, fair, good, etc. And then ordinal din yung color, E, E, F, G. Okay, clarity then. So marami sa diamonds data set, marami tayong mga factors. Not only factors guys, ordinal factors. Anong difference ng factor sa ordinal factor? Pag factor guys, not necessarily walang meaning yung order. Kunyari, country. So Philippines, Malaysia, sa ASEAN, wala namang ordering yun eh. Kahit mauna si Philippines or mauna si Singapore, walang order siya. So meron naman ordinal, katulad nito, yung cut down ng diamond. So it can be fair, good, very good, etc. Yun ordinal yun. Kasi one level is better than the other. No? Dun sa gender, hindi naman ordinal yun. Okay, ano pa? Race, hindi naman ordinal yung mga ganyang klase factors. But there are factors that can be considered as ordinal kasi may ordering, may natural order yung ano yung factors na yun. Okay, so let's see guys. Okay, let's create this object called D1. Okay, D1 is diamonds and then group by cut. And then let's generate the first, yung first ano muna. Tanggalin muna natin itong ano. No? Okay, D1 muna. No? D1, so that it will generate the first 6. So let's run this. And then what do we have here? Okay, it generates the first 6 observations of the diamonds data. Okay, so group by cut. Okay, question guys, bakit 4 lang yung cut dito? Bakit 4 groups lang? 5 groups dapat yan. Okay, take a look at this. It's a table. Okay, 6 rows by 10. Okay, 6 by 10 siya kasi ang ginamit lang natin head, no? Automatically default yung head, 6 observations lang binibigay sa atin. 6 by 10 and then groups daw cut into 4. Kaso yung cut ng guys, actually 5 yan. 5 siya. No? Fair, good, etc. Kung summary natin, let's summarize this. Ayan, summary ng cut, fair, good, very good, premium, and ideal. So there are 5 cuts, 5 types of cuts. But here, we're only told that there are 4. There are 4 guys kasi if you take a look at the first 6 observations, ideal, premium, good, very good. 4 lang yung na-identify dito. Kaya 4 lang yan. Pero if we increase, for example, gawin natin 10. Okay, so first 10 observations. Okay. So naging 5 na siya. May very good na, may fair, may good, may premium, may ideal. Okay, yun lang. Baka kasi kayo magtaka bakit nakalagay cut 4 lang. Okay. Alright. So then, create an object. Excuse me. Okay, so where was I? All right. So in this exercise, we are asked to create an object called average price cut by summarizing the groups according to cut by the average price. So this is just another example where we use group by and then summarize. So very specific naman instructions. Create an object called average price cut, use the diamonds data, and then i-group natin by cut, and then summarize natin yung average price nila. Okay? We use the mean of the price. Okay, so let's run this. Okay. All right. Then we can see here, guys, that ito nga, no, 5 yung cut nila. Tapos in average price. Okay, so medyo weird lang yung data natin kasi makikita natin na yung average price ng fair. I'm assuming guys ang pinaka dito ideal ang pinaka mahal sabihin natin or premium and ideal siguro. Siguro yung fair dapat from a regular I'm not familiar so much with how diamonds are priced. Pero dito if we just use the nomenclature fair, parang ordinal data siya, no? Pag ordinal, syempre may order yan. Ang guess ko, guys, ang assumption ko, fair yung pinakapangit, good, and then very good. Syempre, we can say that very good is better than good, no? Tapos premium, tapos ideal. Okay. Alright, so okay. So this goes to show guys maybe that yung price niya will be dependent on, ang guess ko lang, it will be dependent on other factors. So if you take a look at the diamonds data set, marami siyang factors. So the pricing could be determined by not by several factors. Hindi lang yung label na fair, good, very good. Okay. Anyway, the objective here was to again group by and then compute a particular dito yung average ang tingin natin. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. Sabi natin, as we mentioned a while ago, only by combining a group by with another data wrangling operation, in this case, summarize, will the data be actually transformed. So kasi nag-create tayo dito ng object, di ba? Yung average price cut. So you can see here that we generated another object. Okay, tapos this is a transformed object. We now have a summary of the cut with their average price. Okay? All right. So let's ito naman guys, kasi pag group na natin siya, di ba nag-group tayo dito, no? Group by cut. Okay, let's see. let's see, summary ulit natin ng diamonds. Structure pala. Structure, diamonds. Okay. Right. So, diamonds. And then group by, no? Group by, and then cut. So, print natin si structure diamonds. Okay, di ba sabi natin guys yung ano yung when we group by, it will create yung grouping na to. So sabi natin dito cut, sabi ng result ng ano natin, diamonds group by cut. So it's grouped by cut. Okay, tapos we can actually ungroup. Okay, pwede natin i-ungroup ulit yung diamonds, no? Pag nag-group na natin siya, pwede natin siyang i-ungroup by using this ungroup. So here diamonds and then group by cut and then i-ungroup ulit natin. Okay, so let's run this. And you can see here na hindi na siya naka-group, no? Hindi na naka-group yung ano natin, yung cut natin. Okay, so wala na yung grouping natin ng yung cuts by fund. All right. So any questions so far, guys? May iba pang functionalities yung ano, yung group by. We'll have another example of that as we move along. So far ang nakuha pa lang natin, importante yung grouping by and then summarizing. Especially if you want that the summarize function will be implemented based on a particular grouping on our data. Okay, so tingnan natin ulit guys yung counting natin. Recall that the end function counts rows. Okay, iba yung sum, no? Yung summary guys, sinasum up. Ina-add yung mga ano, yung mga values sa variables natin. So for example, dito sa ano, I'll just show the answer already. Okay. Okay, we're interested guys to balik tayo sa flights data set natin. We create an object, a data frame, count by origin, and counts how many flights departed from each of the 3 airports in New York City. Diba, sabi natin yung flights data set, tatlo yung ano dyan, tatlo yung terminals. No? Yung LaGuardia, yung LGA, yung EWR, Newark, tsaka yung JFK. So if you want to determine ilan yung galing sa Newark, ilan galing sa LaGuardia, ilan galing sa JFK. So what do we do? No? So alam natin na i-group by natin by origin yan. So using the flights data set, i-group by origin natin, and then ipa-count natin. Ilan yung galing sa LaGuardia, ilan yung galing sa EWR, ilan yung galing sa JFK. So let's run this. So you can see guys, group niya by origin, and then binilang niya. So in 2013, the flights that came from EWR was around 120,000, JFK 111, AC LaGuardia yung pinaka-contact 104. And so I'll give you a few seconds to run that. And when you're done, guys, kindly chat please if you got the same answer. Okay, good, good. Okay, a few more seconds for the others. Okay. Chat naman guys kung clear so far. Kung may questions, kindly chat please. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. As you know guys, pag may questions kayo, please don't hesitate to ask questions. Thank you. Okay, thank you for those who keep on who are active in giving their feedback. I really appreciate that. Okay. Now, so iba guys yung yung sum at saka yung yung count. No? Now, of course, you can group by more than one variable. Okay. So for example, we'd like to determine the number of flights leaving each of the 3 New York city airports for each month. So ito, guys, ano yung grouping natin dito? Dalawa. Yung grouping based on the origin and also grouping based on the month. No? Kanina kasi ang ginawa natin, kinuha natin yung mean at saka standard deviation per month and temperature. Okay. Tapos what we also did was to count the number of flights emanating from the three origin airports of origin. And then this time, what we want to do is to determine the number of flights. So ano to? Ilang flights daw ang nanggagaling from the 3 New York airports on a per month basis. Okay. So how do we do this, guys? Okay, I don't think I gave this to you, but take a look at this, guys. No? Okay. So dito, sabi natin, we're creating this object by origin month. Dalawa yung natin, no? Dalawa yung yung groupings, no? So we use the flights data set and then group by. First we group by origin and then we group by month and then summarize natin, pinapabilang kasi natin count is equal to n. Okay? So kindly run this first and let's see if we got the same answers. Yeah, guys, this should be your answer. No? 36 observations. Tatlo yung natin, tatlo yung rows, origin, and then month, and then count. And kindly chat, please, guys, if you got the same. Thank you. Thank you. And salamat. Let's wait for the others. Okay. So a few more seconds, guys, for the others to follow. Here we learned, guys, that in fact, pwedeng several groupings, hindi lang isa. No? Kasi so far, what we did was just to group by one. And then ito, gusto nating grouping ng dalawang categories, no? Yung origin at saka yung month. Okay, so what's happening here, guys? So group by origin. So ang mangyayari niyan, tatlong ano natin, di ba? EWR, LGA, at saka JFK. So i-group mo na yon, yung tatlong yon, separate by grouping. Tapos, and then, by month. No? So si EWR, kukunin yung 1 up to 12 niya, si LGA yung 1 up to 12, si JFK yung 1 up to 12. So that's what happens with this one. Uunahin muna guys yung order matters dito. No? So inuna muna si origin, and then pagkatapos si month. Okay? Now, will it be different guys if we do month first? Tingnan nga natin guys, tingnan natin month. Unahin natin si month. Tapos, sunod natin si origin. Gagawin natin ito. Will there be a difference? So let's run this. Okay. Anong kaibahan guys? Anong kaibahan guys? Overall guys, magkaiba ba? Overall. Yes or no guys? Overall, when we say overall, yung number of rows, etc., yung elements niya. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Angel. You're correct, no? The results overall are the same. Kung anong nakikita natin dun sa una, ganun din makikita natin sa pangalawa. Only that, nabago na yung how they were ordered. Okay? Anong difference sila? Dito sa the second one that we did, kasi sabi natin group by month muna, tapos origin. So what will come first, guys? Sa first row natin will be month. Month muna. Okay, so specify natin yung mga month, 1 up to 12 yan. And then pangalawa, yung origin. So kay 1, since ito yung origin yan, di ba? 1, si EWR, and then 1 JFK, and then 1 LGA. So ganun yung magiging result ng table natin. Okay, so depending on what you really want to focus on, are you focusing on the month? No? So kung malaman kung monthly, ilan ba yung nanggagaling kay EWR, JFK, and LGA? Although as we said guys, pareho lang naman yung output. Yung isa kanina kasi, ito, nabago na to. Ito, no? Yung isa kanina, hindi. Kasi pareho lang yung pangalan. No? So, ibalik ko na lang dati sa origin, and then month. Okay. So this one guys, ang nasa first column will be yung origin natin. Origin. Okay. Run natin. Okay, origin. So if what you want to focus on is, ang focus muna guys, kunyari, ang focus is the airport. So EWR, based on the month, ito yung gagawin nyo. Pero kung gusto nyo, ang focus nyo yung monthly performance, unahin nyo sa month. So, depende guys kung ano yung gusto nyo talagang focus. But as we said guys kanina, the elements are the same. Na-jumbo lang yung order nila. Okay. Now what happens if we separate ito? Take a look at this guys. If I didn't give it to you guys, kindly write this. Did I? Kung binigay ko yung code nito. Incorrect. Okay, I gave it, no? I gave it here. Okay, what happens, guys, if we do this? By origin monthly, incorrect. Flights, and then group by origin, and then group by month, and then summarize. So what happens here? What do you notice, guys? Ano nangyari? Anyone? Any comment, guys? Okay. Thank you, Angel. No? You notice, guys, that yung grouping niya, hindi naman group by by origin. So sinupersede niya yung unang group by, no? Group by origin, tapos group by month. hindi niya group by both categories. In other words, guys, parang sinuproceed niya to, parang in-ignore niya itong una. No? In-ignore niya itong unang group by origin, and then it just group by month. Kasi guys, if we remove this, I'll remove this, no? Okay, 27004, di ba yung una? And I run this. Ito yun, no? Ito yung answer. So it's as if, Control C, hindi niya rinan yung origin. Sinuproceed niya yung unang group by. So ang lesson dito guys, if you want dalawang groupings talaga, do not separate yung group by. Parang yung summarization kanina, no? If you want both summary to be generated, dapat nasa isang sila, nasa isang parenthesis, no? Okay, inside. So dito, buti nga dito rinan pa no? yung group by. Kanina yung summarize, in-error niya. Alright. The second group overwrote the grouping structure of the earlier group, so that in the end we are only grouping by month. Okay? If you want to group by 2 or more variables, dapat it should be included in this parenthesis, isang parenthesis and comma in between. Okay. So how about this, guys? Malapit na tayo, no? So we have may konti pa dito. Okay, definitely guys, hindi natin matatapos to, no? Pero may I request you to please go through this. Pakiran nyo naman to, no? Itong natitira. Tapos next meeting will start with mutate, tapos arrange and sort. Yung mutate, madali lang naman yan. Tapos arrange and sort, and then joins. We have to finish everything next meeting. So when we meet next meeting, guys, I hope guys may mga result na kayo nitong exercises nito, no? So that we'll just quickly compare answers, and then if you have any questions, we will answer them, address them. This just reinforces what we learned about grouping, about summarizing. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Ito, gusto natin dito, what code would be required to get the mean and the standard deviation for each day in 2013. Okay, each day, guys, create an object called summary temp by day. Now, take note, guys, kapag each day, paano mo malalaman yung each day? Ibig sabihin, January 1, okay, January 2, January 3, di ba ganun yung each day, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kasama dapat sa grouping doon yung year, yung month, at saka day. 2013, month 1, day 1. 2013, month 1, day 2. So that's daily. So pag binubban yun, hindi dapat day lang. Dapat kasama yung year, month, at saka day. Okay? Year, month, at saka day, that means pag sinulat yung column nito, una si year, tapos si month, tapos si day. And then, summarize yung mean at saka standard deviation. Okay, so that's how you run this. That's how you do that. You guys, year, month, and day. And it will have 364 days. No? Kasi ang gusto natin daily. Ang gusto natin daily. Now, mali guys, kung gawin nyo lang day yan, mali yan. Kung isa-summarize niya, lahat ng 1, lahat ng 2, kunyari okay, I just put here day. I-run natin to. Okay, what happened guys? Lahat lang ng day 1, day 2, hanggang day 31. So ang ginawa niya, kinuha niya lahat ng day 1, inad niya yung mga temperature nun, tapos dinivide niya ng 30 or 31. No? Para makuha yung mean, para makuha yung standard deviation, etc. So that's wrong. Ang gusto kasi natin by day, Control Z. So dapat kasama si year, month, and day. Okay, clear yung guys? It's already time. Just 1 more minute. Okay lang ba guys? Permission guys to extend 1 minute. If you need to go guys, of course you need to go.
I am on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. So lastly guys, ito sinabi natin group by day lang, ano? So it's different. Kung gusto mo kunin yung mga averages ng lahat ng first day of the month, second day of the month, third day of the month, etc. Ganun ang gagawin mo. Okay? Alright. Tapos ito another exercise, no? Group by month and origin. Okay. Ito naman, ginagawa natin yung okay, ginawa na ba natin ito kanina? Okay, month and origin. So dapat mauuna dyan yung month. Yeah, I think we did this a while ago. No? Sorry, nagawa na natin ito. Tapos binago lang natin yung order. No? Okay. All right. So let's stop here, guys. So we ended in exercise number 3. Now, next meeting, may I request you to please answer these exercises. I know hindi ko binigay sa inyo to. I want you to do this on your own. Exercise 3. Okay, mga blanco yan, no? Exercise 4. Okay, and then we go to mutate. Okay, and then arrange and sort. And then we go to joins. So next meeting, yun ang gagawin natin, yung functionalities yun. Especially joins, dito tayo medyo magtatagal next meeting kasi medyo mas mahirap, mas challenging itong function. Alright, let me stop recording.